Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. Going within. Truth can operate through thoughts. Truth can operate through thoughts, but thoughts cannot operate through truth. When you are listening to anything, whether it is chirping of the birds, rustling of the tree leaves, the water falling, the flowing of the water, or to a master, listen with insights, listen with attention, listen totally, and in that very vision you will see something, and that seeing changes you. But do not ask how. This is the meaning when Krishnamurti says to negate is silence. It is insight that negates, and when something is negated and nothing is posited, instead something has been destroyed and nothing has been replaced in its place, only then there is silence. You empty the room and you leave it as it is without changing the decor, changing the furniture or anything. That is silence. Because there is a space. There is silence because the old has been thrown out and the new has not been put in place. New has not been brought in. That silence Buddha calls shunyata. That silence is emptiness. That silence is nothingness. And only that emptiness can operate in the world of truth. It is that silence can operate in the world of truth. Thoughts cannot operate there. Thoughts work only in the world of things, because thoughts are also objects, things, but they are subtle objects. But it is also material in a way. That is why thoughts can be recorded. That is why thoughts can be relayed, conveyed. I can throw a thought at you. You can hold it. You can have it. It can be taken and given. This is what happens. I post something and you take it, you share it. This is transferable because it is a thing. It is a material phenomenon. On the contrary, The emptiness out of which these thoughts emerge cannot be given. Emptiness cannot be thrown at you. Thoughts can be thrown through the social media, and you are more concerned with thoughts than the silence out of which this particular thought has emerged. Transformation will happen when you move from the material, the thoughts, to the silence out of which the words emerge. And that is a totally different kind of work. The direction, the journey is different. You come to collect knowledge. You did not come to participate in the silence that the Master is. Thoughts can be given, can be taken. Thoughts are transferable because they are objects. Subtle though. Emptiness cannot be given. It cannot be thrown at you. You can participate in the emptiness out of which these words emerge. You can move into this silence with me, just as you move with the person that you love into the inner part, into his bedroom. You move there silently. You can move into the silence, into the emptiness that the Master is, but nobody can give it to you. And when holding the hands, you move into that silence. Transformation is possible, not through the thoughts, not through the words. They are objects. This silence, this emptiness cannot be given to you. It cannot be transferred. And only emptiness operates in the world of truth. If you want transformation, if you want to move within, you have to enter into this space which is emptiness. Just sitting with eyes closed does not mean you have entered into that space. Truth is known only when the mind is not. Truth is known only when you enter into that space. To know truth, mind has to cease. You are seeing the outer life, outer behavior of the Master. You draw your own conclusions, but you have, and in that the mind continues to operate. And you say, the change is not happening. To know truth, mind has to cease. If it goes on functioning, then nothing will happen. It has to stop functioning. It has to be quiet, still, unmoving. Only then you enter into something, a space which is emptiness. Thoughts cannot operate in truth, but truth can operate through thoughts. So when my words are emerging out of emptiness, as thoughts. It is truth that is operating through it. You cannot attain to truth by thinking, but what you have attained, you can use thinking in its service. When you have attained it, you can use thinking in its service. That is what I am doing. That is what a Buddha is doing. That is what all the masters have done. What I am saying is a thought. But behind thought there is deep emptiness. And when you are saying anything, there is deep disturbance. What I am saying is a thought, but behind this there is deep emptiness. It is emerging out of emptiness. That emptiness has not been produced by the thoughts. That emptiness is beyond thought. Thoughts cannot touch it. Thoughts cannot even look into it. But thoughts can emerge out of this silence. Have you observed one phenomenon? That you cannot think about emptiness. You cannot make emptiness a thought. You cannot think about it. It is unthinkable. If you can think about it, if you can explain about it, it will not be emptiness at all. Thoughts has to go for emptiness to come. Thoughts have to disappear for emptiness to come in. Thoughts and emptiness never meet one another. Once emptiness has come, it can use all kind of devices to express itself. I am using gestures, words to express the emptiness. A Buddha uses many devices to express this silence. Insight is a state of no thought. Whenever you see something, you always see when there is no thought. Here also, listening to me, being with me, something you see. But those thoughts are gaps, intervals. One thought has gone, another has not come in. There is a gap. And in that gap, something strikes. Something starts vibrating. It is like somebody playing on the drum. The drum has an empty side. Drum is empty inside. That is why it can be played upon. It is the emptiness that vibrates when you use the percussion instruments. You are using the percussion instrument. The drum is empty inside. That is why it can be played on. Remember, a musical instrument can only be played on when It has emptiness within. That emptiness vibrates. That beautiful sound that comes out of this drum is produced out of emptiness. When you are without a thought, then something is possible, immediately possible. Then you can see what I am saying. Then it will not be just a word heard. It will become an intuition, an insight, a vision. You have looked into it. You have shared it with me. Let me repeat it. Insight is a state of no thought. Whenever you see something, you always see when there is no thought. You are listening to me. You are with me. Something you see, but those thoughts but those moments when you see something are gaps. One thought has gone, another has not come in, and there is a gap. And in that gap alone something strikes. Something starts vibrating. It is like playing on an instrument, playing on a percussion instrument, a drum. Drum is empty inside, and when you beat the drum, it is the emptiness that echoes. That emptiness begins to vibrate. That beautiful sound that comes out of it is produced out of emptiness. When you are without a thought, then something is possible. Immediately possible, instantaneously possible. Then you can see, only then you can see what I am saying. Then it will not be just a word. Then it will become an intuition, an insight, a vision. You have looked into it. You have shared it with me. And in that sharing, transformation is possible. If you want to share something, share this emptiness that you have participated with me, not my words. Because the words that you are sharing have emerged out of my emptiness, not your emptiness. You are taking this emptiness into the cloud of your thoughts, into the noise of your thoughts, and they cannot have the same influence. Insight is a state of non-thinking, no thought. It is a gap, an interval in the process of thought, and in that gap, a glimpse is possible, the glimpse of truth. The English word empty comes from a root that means leisure, unoccupied. This is a beautiful word. If you go to the root is very pregnant. It means at leisure, unoccupied. When you are unoccupied at leisure, you are empty. And remember the proverb that says the empty mind is devil's workshop. This is just nothing but sheer nonsense. just the opposite of the truth. The occupied mind is devil's workshop. An empty mind is God's workshop, not the devil's. But you have to understand what I mean by empty. Empty means at leisure. Empty means relaxed, non-tense, not moving, not desiring, not doing anything, just being here, utterly here. An empty mind is pure presence, and all is possible in that pure presence because the whole existence comes out of this pure presence. It is said in the beginning there was nothing, there was a word, and the word was with God. Out of that everything emerged. Whether you say Lao says Tao Te Ching or the Upanishads or anything, in the beginning there was nothing, just emptiness, and out of that 1,001 things emerged. Lao says Tao cannot be put into the words, but out of that myriad emerged. These trees grow out of that pure presence. Stars are born out of the pure presence. We are here. All the Buddhas have come out of that pure presence. In that pure presence, you are in God. You are God. Occupied, you fall. Occupied, you have been expelled from the Garden of Eden. Unoccupied, you have regained the paradise. You are back in the garden. Unoccupied, you are at home. When the mind is not occupied by reality, by things, by thoughts, then there is that which is. And that which is nothing but truth. And truth enters in you only in emptiness. Only in emptiness you become pregnant with truth. And when you are pregnant with truth, many things emerge out of that. It may be thought, it may be anything else, but that alone can transform. That alone can transform. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, take care and do have a pleasant day.